Greetings. Today is day number 175 of our Bible reading plan, and we are reading Psalms 58 through to 65. However, today I just want to focus on Psalm 61. Psalm 61 reads as follows: Hear my cry, O God. Listen to my prayer. From the ends of the earth I call to you. I call as my heart grows faint. Lead me to the rock that is higher than I, for you have been my refuge, a strong tower against the foe. I long to dwell in your tent forever and take refuge in the shelter of your wings. For you, God, have heard my vows. You have given me the heritage of those who fear your name. Increase the days of the king's life, his years for many generations. May he be enthroned in God's presence forever. Appoint your love and faithfulness to protect him. Then I will ever sing in praise of your name and fulfill my vows day after day. This psalm was written by a man who was walking through one of the deepest valleys of his life. The title of the song indicates that the writer was David. It is not known when this psalm was written. However, the Bible scholars agree that it was written by David toward the end of his exile from Jerusalem when Absalom rebelled against him. When this psalm was written, rebellion is over, Absalom is dead, and David is headed home. He's going back with sorrow in his heart, because the son he loved more than life itself is gone. He is going back to reclaim his rightful place on the throne of Israel. He is going home to help restore a nation torn apart by a brutal civil war. David is going home, but he is going home with a heart filled with sorrow. Out of that sorrowful, broken heart come this sweet, precious psalm, Psalm 61. Out of that broken heart of that shattered father pours a song of undiluted praise and worship. David's heart was broken. The title indicates that David wrote not only the words of the psalm, but that he took his harp in his hand and let the music pour from his heart and in his hands. In verse 1, David says, Lord, hear my cry. Lord, hear me. This is a cry of a broken-hearted man. David had hoped that his relationship with Absalom will be mended. But now Absalom is dead. There will be no more restoration. There is only the overwhelming sense of loss, of sorrow, and of defeat. From that crushed soul, David reaches up to God. He pleads with God to hear his cry. He reaches up to the only one he has, the only hope he has. He lifts his voice to the Lord, the only one who can help him. There are times in life when we are overwhelmed. When those times come, we may sometimes think that the Lord does not care about us and that we must beg him for his attention. I want you to know that the Lord has already promised to hear you when you call on him. According to Jeremiah 33 verse 3, call unto him. The very God of heaven inclines his ear to hear you. He listens for your voice because he is your father and you are his child. Child of God, pray with confidence. The Lord hears you when you cry out to him. When your heart is overwhelmed by life, come to the Lord in confidence, knowing that he knows you, he cares about you, he invites you to come to him. He has promised to hear you and to help you. So call unto him. In verse 2, David says, from the end of the earth, will I cry unto thee. Here David feels like he is as far away physically from God as he can get. He feels lonely, separated, and cut off from the Lord. He says that his heart is overwhelmed. So he cries out to God for help to make it through the problems he is facing. Have you ever been there? Have you ever felt like God has abandoned you? Have you ever been in a place where you feel cut off from God? Have you ever been in a place where you felt that you were very far away from Him? I know that sin can produce that feeling, but so can sorrow and suffering. There are times when the problems, difficulties, and trials of life can envelop our hearts and drain the energy right out of us. When those times come, the right place to go to is to the Lord. He is the only one who can help us. He is the only one who can deliver us from what threatens to destroy us. God is our refuge. He is our strength, a very present help in trouble. If you need help, call on the Lord and He will help you. Then he continues to cry out and says, lead me to the rock that is higher than I. The image of the rock suggests stability in a time of turmoil. David is asking the Lord to place him upon the rock that he cannot reach by himself. If the Lord places him upon such a rock, he knows he will be safe. In other words, he needs the Lord to do something for him that he cannot do for himself. He needs the Lord to place him where no one but God can reach him. Thank God there is a rock. There is a place of safety. There is a place of refuge. There is a place we can flee in times of trouble, sorrow, and suffering. There is a place where the storms cannot come, the winds cannot blow, and the waves cannot reach us. There is a safe haven. There is a rock, and that rock is Jesus. The book of Proverbs says, the name of the Lord is the strong tower. The righteous run into it and he is saved. Come to Jesus. He is our rock. When the Lord lifts us up above our situation and let us stand on him, and things that appear so terribly large before us are suddenly so small. So, Lord, lead us to the rock that is higher than us. The one verse that really ministered to me is verse 4, where David says, I long to dwell in your tent forever and take refuge in the shelter of your wings. So that is my prayer. That is my longing. That is the longing of my heart, that I may dwell in his tent, because that is where my refuge comes from. That is where I feel safe. That is where I am hidden in the shelter of his wings. Thank you so much for taking your time to watch this video. We will be continuing with our discussion via Zoom meeting this evening. Please do join us as we deliberate on all the chapters of the book of Psalm. Shalom and thank you.